Welcome back, FIR listeners. A prosperous Happy New Year wishes to you all. This is Deepu.
This is Aditya.
And this is Kaushal.
Reporting from Web Marketing Academy, Bangalore, India. So, after a long break, we are getting back, Aditya, right?
Yeah.
So, today we are going to talk about Amazon's new payment solution for India. Basically, it is a payment solution which is being devised by Amazon so that the transaction becomes much more cumbersome and easy. So as you all know, in India, online buying is getting evolved. So one of the barriers they found at the early stage is that online transaction is getting delayed. It's because of net connectivity issues. We have a slow internet compared to the Western world. And B, the trust element, basically sharing the credit card details and so on over online. So ever since the concept of cash on delivery concept got launched, many people are actually opting for it because actually, it's much more easy to pay after receiving the product. And this itself explains how Indians psyche towards online payment. So the new initiative by Amazon is that they actually planning to cut that step by one process in which they are actually planning to incorporate the user's credit card details online, such a way that they can make the payment immediately in a next click. So this is a new thing which is going to be launched in India, but in the Western world it's already been accepted. It's well accepted across Western countries where you see actually Apple payments happen through that, where in which in one click you get to purchase songs or even apps. Whereas in India it's under early stages of getting into that one click payment. So Amazon have branded this particular solution as Pay with Amazon.
Yeah, exactly. What's interesting to also see is I'm really surprised as to how big companies like Amazon and now Flipkart, which is based out of India, is actually positioning themselves and catering services to the Indian audience. Basically, like you said, Deepu, they're making payment systems that are making stuff easier for Indian audience. What they're actually doing is they're changing the process over here, which is very surprising to see. Generally, when you see a big company like Amazon or X company coming down from the Western countries, they are very rigid or they are very particular about how the process is. But it's very nice to see how things are changing here. And also the whole credit card system that you spoke about, it was a huge issue before with the payment systems in India. Like say a person had to buy an X product online, him registering his credit card details was always he was always scared about storing the details because he thought there was no genuinity about it, or it could be hacked to do other things. But that is changing now, and also talks about the number of mobile users that are increasing now in India. It predominantly talks about how the market for the mobile share has increased, how people are now using only mobiles to purchase things online. So, getting in this move, Amazon, I think it's caused a lot of competitors like Flipkart and Jabong and others to also incorporate the same, because now they're going to lead the race.
Yeah, but I agree with you too about that. But I have a question for you too. I mean, in foreign countries, using credit card is common between all the people. I mean, in India, most of people don't use credit card. They are still stuck with the debit card. People don't feel secure using a credit card. So even in India, most of the people who shop online are basically youth. So do you think youths actually will register their credit card on this website and use it? Because if you ask me, I don't think that most of the youth will actually use credit cards. They'll use debit cards for almost all the transactions. So what do you guys have to say about this?
See, I personally feel when they open up Pay with Amazon solution, definitely they might have found out a solution for that also, considering that 50% of the India's population is in the youth segment between 18 to 25, and considering that age to be a college going age, as I said, they might not be possessing a credit card, but definitely a debit card. So I personally feel that Amazon even might be bringing out a solution for it, where maybe you can even put debit card details, and later that particular process will help them move through the payment gateway much more faster compared to the traditional methods. And considering that nowadays most of the e-commerce sites are doing with this flash sales, one-day sales, or like lightning sales, where in which the number of products on offer are limited, and consumers need to actually act quickly to get the best deal. So such an initiative, this payment solution can actually reduce that cumbersome task of taking of too much of time to make the payment. And it will also, we believe that it can also lead to impulse purchase, where in which you see a good deal which you wanted to have, and all of a sudden you just press of a button, you're there. So I think it will pay way to something more than just making the payment easier. We might see impulse purchases coming up soon, and considering the youth, they are very they won't think twice before even purchasing, that's the age we are in. We all actually, I actually crossed that age right now. I'm at the 30s, but I do think twice before buying a product. But if you ask me 6-7 years back, when I was like in youth and college, I never used to think like second time, because it was like I used to get my pocket money, so I just didn't bother. Once you start earning, then only you come to know, okay, it's your money, you need to know how to plan your finance. So it is something great that Amazon and Flipkart, and of course when the big giants move, all the other companies also will slowly get into the bandwagon, and it will be great to see how we're going to progress.
Yeah, I think you've raised a great point, Aditya. Youth has a lot of disposable income right now. Yeah, like you said, Deepu, you used to get pocket money, and debit cards and credit cards is not something a normal youth in India would be associated with until and unless he's well off. But what that increases is the payment of COD, which is nothing but cash on delivery. So I think that is really popular among youth, and also brings in the typical Indian mentality where you want to feel the product before you buy it. So I think the sales of the COD will be predominantly popular with the youth, but I think among the professionals and the 30 pluses and whoever the age segment that comes under the credit card and the debit card, it's definitely going to run popular with them.
So that's it for now regarding Amazon's new payment solutions. Moving on, we are going to talk about how Themis Consulting, it's a company which is actually using Facebook and Twitter to promote startups. So do you have a business plan which can make a next $1 billion company, or do you have just an idea which you feel it can change the world? So if you are in that particular phase, here's something for you. I'm talking about a Mumbai-based consulting firm, Themis Consulting, which have ventured into a new way of attracting startups to get funded. So the basic idea behind this is that they are actually encouraging startups to put their idea on their social media page. So they do have a Facebook and Twitter accounts, where in which if you have a proposal, you just have to post it over there. And after several rounds of review, and if you are shortlisted, they'll be calling you on board to get funded. So it is an interesting concept to start off with. Gone are days where to get funded you had so much of entry barrier. With this particular concept, even that is getting mitigated. So it's all about finding the right talent from the mass. So I personally feel that this is a good medium which they have chosen to get funding for the startups. So one of the biggest initiatives they have taken is they have actually opened up #GetFunded Twitter name, the tag, with which if you have any great idea, all you need to do is put #GetFunded and post your idea. How they operate is that they actually shortlist 18 startups, and after getting it selected, they'll be brought on board and will be taken to investors and will be pitching in for the ideas so that they can get funded. So it's a novel idea to start off, and it is actually started off with a 30-year-old founder called Nirbant Shah. As of now, we have already cultivated almost 250 startups in and around India, which is predominantly into smaller, medium scale enterprises. So Kaushal, what do you think about this?
Yeah, Deepu, I think this is a great platform for youngsters in India, especially with the population that India holds and 50% of them being youth, and the number of youngsters that we harbor is obviously leading to better ideas and more business propositions. And there's no particular platform that actually elevates all of this. I think what Nibrant Shah is doing is, I think he has a brilliant idea, and what he also talks about in his company is how they disrupt the way entrepreneurs access capital. See, most of, say an engineer comes up with a product, he might not know how to market it. But what the company does, Themis Consultant does, is It gives you good accounting, finance, and good human resources so that your company is managed better. It sees where your capital is going to. It makes sure that your company is doing the right things at the right time. I think this idea is also going to pick up because it's elevated using social media, and most of the youth is right now present on social media and they're highly active. Especially Twitter and Facebook is garnering a lot of interest in India. So I think this plan is going to work out really well.
Yeah, that's wonderful to hear. And one of the hidden points in this is that actually he charges around anywhere between 0.5% to 1.5% for an investment of up to 30 lakhs. But however, considering that we all are here to get some benefit out of it, right? So even that it's still fine because he's actually breaking the barriers and making sure that people come on board and get funded. So that's something great which is Themis Consulting is doing for our Indian market. So by doing this, it's actually a win-win situation for both. Here's a company who's actually looking for a fund, and here's another company who's actually taking on board and making money out of it. So considering at the end of the day, since both parties are making profits out of, I won't say profit, benefits out of it, it's win-win for all. But my only concern is posting it in social media. So the idea is out there. What if you have a wild idea? And what if somebody steals it? If you look back to the Facebook itself, it's not actually started by Mark Zuckerberg. It was some others' ideas, but he added more inputs and made it Facebook. So do you think such things can happen if we promote our ideas through social media?
Yeah, basically, a lot of people will have ideas, and each person will have more than one idea. So the person who is actually willing to put the idea out there on the social media should be willing to take that risk. If they really feel that it's really good enough to get the funding, then yeah, you can take the risk. But if you don't think that, if it's not going to work out really well, you might wait for a few days, see how exactly people are posting their ideas, and see where you stand in their ideas, and then you can approach the company.
Yes, Aditya, yeah, that's just another way of assessing your idea, because when you go to social media, you'll come to the array of ideas, the level in which people are thinking, and you can actually self-validate your idea before even posting it. That can be another advantage of going through this media.
Another thing is that you said that they're even doing in Twitter, and Twitter has only 140 characters. You can't say much about what your whole business plan. All you're giving is just what exactly your company will do and what exactly it's meant to do, how exactly it's help people, and give the hashtag get funded. That's it. Not really basically, if others want to steal your idea, they should have come up with their own business plan. We're not giving out our business plan. So I'd suggest if people want to get this get funded campaign, then they can probably go to Twitter and post their ideas there.
Thanks, Aditya, for a wonderful insight on this. Moving on, we got a very interesting topic from slums of Mumbai. This is from Dharavi, which is supposed to be Asia's largest slum, and how school children, basically school girls, who team together to develop an app to solve water problems. So Aditya, it's on to you to elaborate on this.
Yeah, this is actually a really good initiative taken by the 3 girls in Dharavi. So there's a team of 3 girls who are 12 to 13 years old, and they're just school girls, and they've come up with an app called Pani Hai Jeevan, which is meant as water is life. So basically, in the slums of India, you don't get water to your homes like you get in cities. You'll basically have to go out there, go stand near a tap, stand in a queue, get the water you need for the whole day in at least 3 to 4 buckets of it, and then actually you can use it.
Something like a community tap where everybody comes in, gathers around the tap and...
Yeah. So you don't have to have your own private tap in your home. You'll have to go outside to a public tap, go to the public water system, take it from there and then go home. So you say, basically this is the Asia's largest slum. So you imagine how many people actually live in that slum. So a lot of people in that slum will actually need water. So what these girls have developed in this app is basically a queue system, a numbered system. So every person, they just go to the app and they'll register and they'll get a number. So based on this, you can stand in the queue. You'll know at what time you'll have to go there and collect the water. So basically, there's no fuss about waiting in the queue for the whole day in the sun, and there's no fight over water. So it's basically more like a peace system.
Or a token system for that matter. It's
exactly.
like virtually a token system.
Yeah.
I think this is a brilliant concept, but my issue is how penetrable is this app? How, I mean, we can all say that in the cities the usage of smartphone is high, but how in the slums are you going to, what they've spoken about is getting notifications on your mobile for water, but will it actually help fight the cause? Will you actually sit with your smartphone and wait for a notification, or would you go out there and get your water that you demand? I think there are a lot of questions that will arise, but no matter what, the idea is brilliant, but there are a lot of questions that will be raised.
So, Kaushal, we are coming from city, okay? So we never have, even in our childhood, we never faced such a situation where we stood in queue to get the water. So I think you need to be in that situation to understand the madness or the craziness, how it all works. I personally believe if that actually, I'm not saying it is 100% foolproof solution for this, but if that can solve a bit of that frustrations out of people's mind, why not? And the beauty about this is it's coming from school girls that even I'm pretty much shocked over here. We are like educated adults over here sitting and having this podcast. We never thought about developing an app. It all comes from the human need, and it's quite interesting to know that these young girls have captured the reality at a very young age and coming out with solutions for it, which I don't think so at my age of 13 or 49 I would have thought about it. I would say we didn't have any difficulties of any that sort of like getting the basic water or even electricity for that matter. But so this is something great in fact, and the beauty of it, they are actually gone on board, actually went online and searched, and they found out a platform wherein which they can create app by picking and drop, pick and drop option. So that actually have reduced the barrier of the programming also over here. So with limited resource, they have done a wonderful job of solving a small problem which they face day to day.
So Kaushal, you also asked a question about how exactly the village people use this app, right? So there's a kid over there named Sheikh. So I'm going to quote what exactly he said to the Times of India paper. So he said that it also works on simple phones. Our moms never went to school, so we can teach them with this. So kids over there are basically taking the responsibility to teach the elder people of how exactly the app works.
So thanks Kaushal and Aditya to share your insights on this wonderful topic. We hope that you have, we hope that you have enjoyed our podcast sessions for today. And it's signing off time from us. Thank you.
And once again, wish you a happy new year.